Alright, welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today we're going to get into a really simple lesson on strumming. So when you're strumming, the first thing you'll want to consider is what kind of pick you're using and how you're holding that. So this is the pick I use. It is a gravity pick. It's 2 millimeters thick. So as you see, thickness has nothing to do with your strumming. If you use proper hand technique, the size of your pick doesn't really matter in terms of how you strum. However, one thing that can affect your strumming is the shape of your pick. Take a look at this. It's an Ernie Ball Prodigy, and you notice it has a really pointy end. That is not so good for strumming. If it has too pointy of an edge, it'll kind of catch on the strings and it doesn't sound as good. And it'll also wear down the tip really fast. These are generally for speed picking, whereas round picks like this are better for strumming. Alright, so now that we've got picks out of the way, let's kind of talk about how we're going to hold the pick. So when you hold the pick, I don't really care how you hold the pick, but you have to hold the pick in a way that allows your hand to be loose. This is about with how much force I'm holding the pick. See how it can still move? That's important, especially when you have a thicker pick like this. So when I strum, I need to keep my hand loose in a fluid motion. My hand's completely relaxed. And more importantly, my wrist is completely relaxed. The motion comes from your arm, a combination of your arm, and letting your wrist move naturally. So don't try to move your wrist, try to move your arm. And let your wrist just kind of naturally follow along as it will. So let's start by learning actually how to strum. There's 3 moves we can do when we're strumming. We can do a downstroke, we can do an upstroke, and we can do a stop. So if you combine those 3, that's how you come up with most of the stuff. And then you can throw picking and stuff in there, but for the most part, we're going to use a downstroke, an upstroke, and a stop. So using those 3 motions, we'll be able to come up with cool stuff. And we'll be able to do that using downstrokes, upstrokes, and stops. What I want you to do is practice just strumming up and down. And there shouldn't be any tension in your arm. Notice how my wrist is very smooth. You can try raking it. Or just one smooth motion. But I want you to get used to that because that's going to help you actually. It'll help you get that motion down so that when you're strumming faster and more complex things, you'll kind of default back to this motion, right? So I want you to practice that. The next concept I want to kind of explain is the idea of the rhythm machine. So you'll see guitarists just like strumming like this, right? They're moving their arm like this, but what comes out is not. That's not what comes out. Instead, what comes out is. You can actually choose how to accent the way you strum. So at that, I'm going. When I'm coming back for the, I'm just strumming on the lower strings. So it gets like a bass response. So you're kind of getting this bass and snare drum effect. So you can strum on the lower strings and on the higher strings. And the higher strings kind of act like a snare. The lower strings kind of act like a kick. The other thing that you can do when you strum is you don't have to strum every time. Now I remember the first strumming pattern I actually learned was this. So in order to do that, my hand is just doing this. If I were just to show you this, you would guess, oh, he's playing down, up, 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 like that. But no, I'm not playing that. I'm playing down, down, up, down, up. But I'm keeping the motion going. So I'm adding in what are called ghost strums, where I go down, I didn't strum anything, down, up, down, up, down, up. So so I'm trying to do down, down, up, down, up, but I'm keeping the motion with my arm going. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Notice the ghost strums. Down, ghost strum, down, up, ghost strum, up, down, up. So we can add in those ghost strums to make sure we can keep our rhythm going. I'm moving this rhythm, right? I'm even tapping my foot. So I'm just kind of keeping my arm moving, like I'm moving it with my hand. I'm choosing very carefully which ones I want to play. So the next thing we need to do is learn how to efficiently use the stop. So if you want to make your playing sound more chunky, rather than playing that, maybe you want it to sound like, maybe you want there to be like stops in there. That kind of helps the groove get going. So there's two ways you can do that. You can do that either by muting with your left hand, that's just letting go. Or you can mute with your right hand, and this creates more of a percussive feel. So let's try one that's really easy. Now, all you're doing here is dropping your hand down like this. I'm exaggerating it so you can see, but just practice that. And then you can practice. And so combining all these techniques, you can come up with some really good things like Let's quickly recap everything that we've learned. The first that we went over was what kind of pick to use. Don't use a pick that's too pointed, otherwise it'll break off the tip of your pick. Number 2, hold your pick with a loose enough grip so that you can properly get that motion. Next, types of strokes. We have downstrokes, upstrokes, and stop. When we play the downstrokes and upstrokes, we can play it cleanly, or we could play it with a rake. Next, we had the rhythm machine. The arm is constantly moving, even if it's not playing everything. Next, we have stops. Creates a very percussive feel. Add that all together, and then you can play So I hope that helped you, and I will see you in the next video.